What's up everyone? One more day here with another episode of the show Rig on Fire. Today we are going to take a look at these two multi-effects units from Nux, the Mg30 and the Mg400. Before we go any further, let me say that again, this is not my biggest channel. My first channel is in Portuguese because I'm from Brazil, but I live here in the United States. So I start this new channel because I think it makes sense since I live here, right? So if you're from Brazil, don't sweat it. There is a link for the same episode in Portuguese. And if you are not from Brazil, consider subscribing to this channel. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you so much. Well, what do we have here? We have the Mg30 and the Mg400. This is the last unit they released maybe 3 or 2 months ago. And since I have those two units, I was like, why not do a comparison and see what happens? Because since they use the same effects, the same amp modeling, the same, everything is the same. Of course, here you're going to have more features, more effects and more impulse response, more amps, but everything that you have here, you have exactly the same thing here. The same amplifiers, the same delays, reverbs, modulation. Here, they are pretty similar. And since they use the same technology, I was like, let's see if they have the same sound. And because I think it's a very useful information, right, for everyone. Well, before we go any further, just to show how those units sound so good, I put those units left and right with the same amp, the Bogner Uberschall, the same impulse response, this impulse response here from the Electric AI Audio, my 4x12 oversized Mesa Boogie with vintage 30s. And let's see how they sound in the mix. Pretty cool, right? Amazing tone for metal. I need to say something. In a couple of minutes, you're going to see a video of comparison between those two tones, A and B comparison, and you're going to realize those guys do not sound so similar. And I was surprised, since they use the same technology, the same modelings, the same amplifiers, the same effects, should be identical, right? But not. This guy sounds a little bit scooped and more tube-like, and this guy, in my opinion, has so much more mids in general for every single tone that I tried. But at the end of the day, I reach faster cool tones with this one, and this one I tweak a little bit more. Let's do a comparison between those two guys. As I said, I used Bogner Uberschall boosted with a tube screamer inside. Of course, it's a virtual tube screamer inside for each unit, and the same amp, the same impulse response, and let's see what happens. Well, as you can see, they are not that close. Maybe it's because the sample points, the resolution of impulse response. Here is 1024 sample points. Here is 512 sample points. My English still sucks. But I don't think so. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's they sound different because some whatever. I use the same cables, the same everything, and they sound different. As you're able to hear, or as you're able to listen, I never know what's the right way to say that shit. But, as I said, this tone here, for my taste, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but sounds for my ears a little bit better. I don't want to say better because I feel this guy here a little bit more real, a little bit more amp-like. I don't know. So, let's try a solo idea. I use this Shred or Die program. I did exactly the same thing, and I try to match the tone because when you put the knobs on the same position, they sound very different. So I need to tweak a little bit, and some knobs was in a different spot. They end up on a different spot. But I try to match the tone, even from the metal tone, the riffs on the beginning of the video. Let's see what happens. What I use for solo, I use a Friedman BE 100. The same impulse response, my 2x12 from Electric Eye Audio with vintage 30s AVH, and I use the same modulation delay for each unit, and I use the same boost, the same equalizer, everything was the same, just a little bit different. The spot of knobs and position of overdrives is a little bit different to try to match the tone. It's better you see for yourself. Almost forgot. For the purpose of this video, I'm using my solar guitar with EMG pickups, the 7-string guitars. I cannot remember the name of this model, but I love this guitar. If you want to know more about solar guitars, there is a link on the description field below. Well, in my opinion, the difference here on the solo part was like not that deep, like the riff part, but on the riff I think it's very different. Here is more close, but even like that I think it's different because I try to match the tone, right? And they are different for sure. As I said, for solo, that tone that I made for solo is not that deep, the difference, but I can feel. Let me know what you think on the comments. At the end of the day, we're going to have two different units for the same brand, with the same technology, the same effects, same amplifier, same impulse responses. This one is $220 and this one is $300. Metal enclosure, plastic enclosure, send return here, nothing here. Of course, you're going to have more features here, more effects, more everything. Anyway, what do you think? I think it was very nice and fun to do that video because you can try to match the tone and try to see what happens and see how different they are and what of these units worth the price. Let me know in the comment section. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up. Check my last video from my last single here, the Heavy Droids, for my last album that I'm going to release in the beginning of 2023. It's supposed to be the end of this year, 2022, but I don't think so. So, show some love, help me spread the word, help me finish that album. Thank you so much. See you next time. I'm out.